welcome to my Dromai DeckTech. This is a simple, generic Dragon Bonky Dromai deck. If that's what you're into. But it's pretty simple. Well, it's actually my more complicated blitz decks, but it's 20 life, 4 intelligence, Draconic Illusionist. Whenever you pitch a red card, you get an Ash, and whenever you play a red card this turn, dragons you control have to go again while attacking. So that's our main goal, is just swarm the field with Ash, turn them all into little dragon, into some kind of dragon. Sometimes they're little, sometimes they're big. I prefer bigger, fancier ones, despite Aether Ashwings being adorable little one-drop guys with their Phantasm and Arcane Barrier and 1 health and 1 damage. But the most important card in the deck has to be the equipment, Storm of Sandakai, which is our dragon allies have once per turn attack for 0. And it explains the rules of allies on the card, but it's like, they can be killed if you do it right. They all have Phantasm though, so if you go against like Guardian or Brute, it's a little rough. This is the card that lets us actually attack with the dragons, and so they're not just sitting there. Probably our second most important card that isn't a dragon is Crown of Dominion. Makes us royal, and when you equip it at the beginning of the game, you create a gold token, which has action for 2 resources. Destroy it, draw a card. This is just we can pitch 2 reds to it to get started with 2 ash, basically. Like we'll start with a 3-card hand and 2 ash in comparison to other heroes. Then we have on the arms, Silken Form, instant speed destroy it, transform an ash into an Aether Ashwing. And it has Quell 1, so this just builds us up ash, and then before it dies to its own Quell effect, we just sack it into an Aether Ashwing. Then we got the Iron Hide Plate, which is pay 1, gains +2, and gains destroy at the end of the combat chain when you defend with it. And we have the same thing for one of our 2 leg options in this deck, which is just you pay 1, it gets you that ash, and then it blocks for 2. So maybe if that card in your hand didn't block at all, or you could go without the block and you need the ash, just good for that. But on the legs we have Silent Stilettos, being whenever attacking ally you control dies, or an attack action card you control is destroyed by Phantasm, you may pay 3 if you do, gain an action point, and Arcane Barrier 1. And these are just so good for so our turn doesn't end to Phantasm on accident, because it allows us to keep playing the game. So, because I want to do this video in the jankiest order possible, we're going to look at the generics first. There they are. I almost didn't grab all the generics off the pile. I saw it and was like, yeah, it's a Draconic Illusionist card. So first off, Oasis Respite for 1 resource, so we can get an ash by pitching a red. For the next 4 damage that will be dealt to target hero, mainly you, by a source of your choice. If they have less life than each other hero, they may gain 1. And so this is just keeps us in the game so we can build up our dragons and then have the big Draconic beatdown round. Then we got 2 red Sigil Solaces. It's a generic instant that gains us 3. It keeps us in the game, and if we use it on our turn, all our dragons gain go again, so we can just start beating down after gaining 3 life and really upset the balance. This one is sheerly because I didn't have 2 red Sink Blows, which is why I would want to run here, but it's 2 red Brush Offs with a generic instant that next time you would be dealt 3 or less damage this turn, prevent it, which can kind of help us on our turn if they're going to like Reckless Swing, because you can technically play this to give your dragons go again. It's just not as good as Sink Below, because Sink Below is really good. So you might just want to, I would suggest picking up Sink Blows. I just didn't have any in my collection when I built the deck. I'll probably, if I were to play this, I might swap the Sink Blows out of a different deck into this for like the game if the person's willing to wait. Then I have 2 blue Scar for Scars, which is a 0-drop attack for 2, and it blocks for 2. But when you play Scar for Scar, if you have less life than any opponent, it gains Go again. This is mostly here just to be a blue that we can also technically attack with, and it could have Go again for all we know. It's just, if we need a blue, worst case scenario, we can throw it out. So then we get into the Draconic Illusionist specific cards that aren't dragons, which are mainly about getting Ash and sometimes transforming it. So we have 4 copies of Sweeping Blow, being the reds and the blues. Attacks for 1 on the blue and 3 on the red. They all block 3. Cost 1 place. We just pitch a red, get an Ash. When you attack Sweeping Blow, create an Ash, so you're getting 2 Ash off 1 card, which is a pretty good rate. Go and Go again. So that's just an Ash generation engine. Followed by another kind of Ash generation engine being our 2 red Emberclaw Senpais, which block 3, but they cost 2 to play. But it says swing for 8 with Phantasm. And if it's destroyed, you get an Ash. So you're getting 2 Ash off pitching the 2 red, and then you're getting the swing for 8, or you swing with all your dragons, and then you swing with this, and you just go in for like monster attacks of just colossal proportions, and have this be like your chain end draft. They've used all their cards blocking dragons. Then we have 2 red Dunebreaker Senpais, which is an attack for 1 with Phantasm and Go again. If it's destroyed, you create an Ash, so this could get you 2 Ash, or it's probably gonna get you 1 off the 1 cost. Blocks 3 and it swings for 5. This could start our turn if they don't Phantasm it, or if we use our Stilettos, we could just keep going in with more and more dragons afterwards. Then we have 4 copies of Rake the Embers, which is a 1-drop, block 2, Go again. There's blue and red. The red ones create an Ash and then transform to 3 Ash you control into Aether Ash Wings, while the blue ones create an Ash and only transform up to 1. But it just kind of, it builds up your Ash a bit and allows you to just, oh, I play the red one as my first card. Boom, 3 little, it also has Go again, so we get the 3 little goblins, and we've played a red card, and then we just swing for 3 instances of 1. Which can be a little difficult to deal with. And then we run 1 Skittering Sands, which is a 0-drop, transform target Ash you control in Aether Ashwing, gains +3 until end of turn, Go again, block 2. So we just get the 1 Ashwing that swings for 4, and it counts as a red card, so all our dragons will have Go again. Now for the part you've all been waiting for, though, the dragons. So first we're running 2 Invoke Dromai, which is a 0-drop, transform target Ash you control into Dromai, put the Ash under him. Oh, the dragons are biny. They have gender pronouns. I did not know that. And that's on the back side of the card, which is a 3 power, 2 health. Once per turn, when Dromai attacks or leaves the arena, gain 1 action point. So we can swing with Dromai, and you can only gain action points during your turn. I was like, what is that in the... I didn't expect to see that text on him. But it just lets us... We swing, and we get... just kind of starts us up with more. So basically Phantasm gets out of the way a bit, because when the Ash is under something like it's supposed to be, because we put the Ash under it, it gives the thing Phantasm. Then we have 2 Invoke Mirror Guys, which is a 1-drop, so we can, if we pitch a red to play it, we get an Ash. It's a block 3, which flips into a 2 damage, 4 attack, probably one of the most important dragons in the deck, because your first dragon attack each turn loses and can't gain Phantasm. So it just kind of takes away the ability for like Guardians and Brutes to really just, yeah, I block with 1 card and your turn's kind of over. Then we have Invoke Thamai, which is a 2-drop, block 3, and like are all the dragons hymns? Put the Ash under Mirakai, under him. Put an Ash under him for Invoke Thamai. Thamai flips into Invoke Thamai becomes Thamai, and opponents Can't play cards or activate abilities during your turn. This stops instants and honestly just instant speed abilities, and it's so nice because it's a 3 attack, 4 health dragon ally that swings for 0 with our weapon. Followed by 2 invoking Yonder Eyes. Block 3, cost 1, transform Nash into, yeah, put it under him. To Yonder Eye, a 3 attack, 3 health. When it enters the arena with an endurance counter on it, if Yonder Eye be dealt damage, remove an endurance counter from him to prevent 3 of that damage. So he's just a kind of harder to kill dragon. Do all the dragons have male pronouns in this game? Alright, keeping the theme. Invoke Asvalai, which is also apparently a him. It's a 0-drop. This is also one of our better dragons, and it turns into blocks 3 Asvalai, which is a 2 attack, 3 health. When Asvalai attacks, you may have him deal 1 arcane damage to up to any 2 targets. So we can kind of just ping anything else our opponent has and just kind of shoot him with arcane, which a lot of the time people don't like. Sometimes people will randomly have arcane barrier, like my ninja decks might, but a lot of the time they don't. Then we have invoke Kyloria, a female dragon. All right, you put dash under her. It's a 1 cost, 3 block, but it turns an Ash into Kyloria, which is a 4 attack, block 2 health. When Kyloria hits a hero, you gain in control of an item they control. If you don't gain control of an item, this way, draw a card. So you're either gonna take items from like the mechanologist, or you could be super disrespectful and like try and hit the other Dromai that's running the crown with this. And just immediately know your gold token's also mine, and I get an even bigger start. Invoke Uvulai, 2-drop, block 3. That flips into Uvulai. At the start of your turn, or when Uvulai enters the arena, transform to 1 Ash control into an Aether Ashwing. On a 1 health, on a 1 attack, 6 power, though, it just floods the field with Ashwings. And which is just it helps for a really big go wide kind of strategy. Then we have Invoke Necroli, which is a 3-drop block 3, so it's one of our more expensive. It's like the most expensive, not the most expensive, but it becomes a 4-drop with 7 health. And when Necroli deals or is dealt damage, put a -1 health counter on her, and you create an Ash token. So this one is hard, like one of the harder ones to get out, but it just lets us flood our field with Ash tokens and keep Ash tokens up. My personal favorite, Invoke Vincerica. Vincerica is a male, though. I I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason to the genders of the dragons, but you know what? I'm probably still just gonna call them all dragons or just thems. Uh, so you 3-drop block 3 that flips into my personal favorite stat line. You can tell what color I play in Magic the Gathering because oh boy, it's red. 6 power, 1 health. When it hits a hero, deals 3 arcane damage to them. So Vincerikai is just we can randomly throw down Vincerikai and get out 1 attack with him, and we can do, if they don't block all 6, they're taking an additional damage. And we got 1 more card, being the only majestic dragon as in, I opened most of the cards for this. I bought a couple of the rare dragons, but Invoke Dracona Optimi. This is a legendary, so we can only run 1 of it. It costs 6, and it blocks for 3, but it transforms an Ash we control to the male dragon again. Interesting, Dracona Optimi. A 6/6. Dealing 6, taking 6. When Dracona Optimi attacks a hero, reveal top 3 cards of your deck. He deals arcane damage equal to twice the number of red cards revealed this way to them and or an ally they control. It's not and or, it's just or. Them or an ally they control. If it was and or, that would be even more busted than already. So we swing once, we reveal reds, and they can take upwards of 6 damage on the already swinging for 6. I'm gonna shuffle this up and show you how maybe a turn would go. Because we always have one pretty cohesive start. I would say the thing that makes this deck like not pretty budget is using the crown, which you might just want to replace with either Hope Merchant's Hood or Ironhide Helmet, because that just makes it so you can makes the deck a lot cheaper if you want to try it without like breaking the bank. Because I pulled that crown from when I opened Unbox Dynasty on Twitch under the same name as this channel, but so we get 4 cards being Sweeping Blow, Ember Moss Senpai, Rush Off, Dunebreaker Senpai. So we honestly might not even use the gold token this turn with this hand, because we could really easily go in Sweeping Blow and Dunebreaker, which it would be 3 Ash guaranteed. But I feel like I would, just for fun, pitch these to use our gold. So that's 2 Ash and we draw a card. And then we could even pitch the last 2. So we'd be at 2 Ash base. Pitch the last 2, we get 2 more Ash. Then we switch one of them into being Uvalai. And so at the start of your turn, when Uvalai enters, and we get an Aether Ashwing, so we would have, and then we could swing for 2 different pings of 1, which on turn 1 isn't bad, especially if they don't have anything that can trigger Phantasm. But it's just this, we make a bunch of dragons and swing them out. And at the start of your turn, we'd get another Ashwing, and we'd be defending ourselves on just some invokes and 2 invokes and 2 rakes. But that's just how the deck plays. We just make dragons and swing with them. So this has been my Dromai deck list. Just gather up all my tokens and stuff. And I thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you did enjoy it. Why do I always put it off slightly to the side? Why not? And thank you all so much for watching. And please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me in the comments if you want to see any specific heroes. And have a good day.